Hello there YouTube, Raj here, and I am back today with a Scents of the Week video. So I'm going to talk you through all the fragrances that I've been wearing so far this week. And if you don't know, I do this video now and again, not all the time. So if you want to check out videos in this series that I've done in the past, click on my channel, click on playlists, click on Scents of the Week, and you will see all the videos there. So what I'm going to do, as always, the fragrances, the description, or the name of the fragrances in the description along with the timeline. And what I do with fragrances actually is that I will have my full bottles and I'll wear my full bottles and enjoy them. And then it kind of goes in cycles, and then I'll go back to my decants and my samples, and it kind of works like that for me. So this week has pretty much been samples and decants except for Monday. So this was the first fragrance I wore during the week. This is one of my all-time favorites. I've had it in my collection, I think, that for a long time, and I think this fragrance is probably one bottle, or maybe the bottle, that I've had the longest in my current collection. And this is from Tom Ford's Private Blend, and this one is Tobacco Vanille. Just for me, it's a classic. You know, I wear it so much in winter, but actually the reason I wore it on Monday is because I was thinking I haven't actually worn this fragrance that much this winter. I feel this fragrance performs best when it's really cold, and it hasn't been like the coldest winter, which actually I suppose isn't a bad thing. But I decided to wear this on Monday. It was a little bit warm. It performed well, but I still feel this is best suited in cold winter time. One of my most complimented fragrances actually, Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille. Going on to Tuesday, and I reviewed this fragrance recently, so if you haven't seen the review, go and check it out, from the house of Armani Prive, and this is Orange Alhambra. I actually discovered as I was going through some of my decants yesterday that I had a little bit more left, so I've topped up this sample, and this is a perfect spring fragrance. I'm going to wear it. In my review, basically, I said this was a soapy, orange, aromatic, mildly spicy, very solid fragrance. Nothing amazing, but really nicely done. Another fragrance I reviewed recently, and this is the scent that I wore on Wednesday, from the house of Maison Kurkdjian. This is Masculin Pluriel. Because I reviewed this fragrance recently, I'm not going to say too much, but in a nutshell, sweet and smoky, coming from the lavender and the leather. Classic men's fougere composition, just upgraded and refined. Really nice scent. I think I might get the travel kit of that, where you get 3 11 ml atomizers. So maybe I'll do that. So that was Wednesday. So where are we now? Thursday. So Thursday, I went back to a fragrance that I'd worn a couple of times, but I haven't worn this. I haven't worn it as much as maybe I should have, because I've had this sample for a long time. From the house of Hermes, and you probably, can you see it? Un Jardin sur le Toit. That's the sample inside, that's how it comes. And what this means is a garden on the roof. So to my knowledge, I think what this was based on is in Hermes's, I think their flagship store, or one of their, or maybe it's their headquarters or something like that, in Paris, or in France at least, probably, yeah, Paris. They have a garden on the roof, and I don't know whether they use some of those ingredients, like literally those ingredients, in the fragrances, or whether it's just there for inspiration or whatever. But this is an excellent fragrance. This is one of the Jean-Claude Ellena creations for Hermes where I really connect with. I don't always connect with his fragrances all the time, but this is crisp, it's very, very green, it smells like a garden that's just been watered. There's some sweet rose in here, and there's, I don't know the notes of this fragrance, but I think there is a very sweet fruit, like an exotic fruit accord coming through. I need to wear it a little bit more, but yeah, I wore this the other day, and I'm going to be wearing this a lot in spring. I think it's going to work really well. Okay, so Thursday, now going on to Friday. So Friday, I went back to a sample that I've worn a couple of times from the house of Etat, Libre, and this one is called Like This. This was a fragrance that I believe was in collaboration or inspired by or something like that with the actress Tilda Swinton. And I remember I tried this in store and when I tried it for the first time, it was one of those where I thought immediately, I need to get a sample of this. I really, really liked it on paper. And the way it smelled on paper was actually pretty much how it plays out on skin. This is, for me, I would classify it as like a semi-gourmand. So it does have elements of food like notes, which is what a gourmand is. But then there are other elements coming in there as well. Basically what I got was like a toffee popcorn, but nothing too sweet, not over the top. With melted butter, with some roasted nuts, and also maybe some cinnamon also. Again, I haven't checked out the note breakdown of this, or well, I did when I bought it, but I can't remember what the notes are. But that's pretty much what I get. It is relentlessly linear, and it is also quite potent. It does last for a really long time. Good fragrance. I really like it. I really like it. Now, one fragrance that I don't have with me, because I went into a store and I just picked it up. I was sampling some things, and so I don't have a sample of it either. But it was from Armani, and it was my scent of Friday night was Eau de Cedre, so cedar. That it's the fragrance that comes in the green bottle, and I think is part of the line which includes Eau de Nuit and Eau d'Arôme and maybe one other thing. But yeah, I really like this fragrance. I hadn't even heard about it. I didn't even know it was like released, or I hadn't never seen it. So I saw it, picked it up, turned the fragrance around, and on the back of the bottle, it actually gave some of the notes. And some of the notes listed on that bottle were cedar, black tea, and suede. And if you guys have liked my Facebook page, you can see I've posted a few pictures of that fragrance and a few others that I tried on Friday night, and it was really good. It was like a fresh tea fragrance, sweet woodiness, probably coming from the cedarwood. I don't know, there was something fresh in there as well. Maybe it couldn't just be the tea, there may be something else. Again, I need to go back and check the notes, but that was one where I think I need to go back to that and I need to maybe get a sample. Also on that day, again, as I said, I've posted it on Facebook, so check it out, but I will mention it now. I also tried the new Boss fragrance, Boss Bottled Oud, which I thought was, I tried it on skin and like top of my hand, and it was good. I quite liked it. I thought it was a nice variation on the original. That sweet apple was still in there, but there were some sweet woody notes, and it was like Boss's attempt at an oud, which it doesn't smell anything like oud. I'll be perfectly honest with you. It is like their interpretation of it. But I thought it was a solid fragrance. I actually liked it. It did start to kind of disintegrate. That's like a term I use quite often with fragrances that just kind of fall away and turn into something quite boring. It did kind of do that towards the base, and actually in the base it smelled quite cheap. But overall, I thought it was quite a solid release, and definitely one I'd like to go back and sample. Maybe get a sample of it. I also tried Dolce & Gabbana The One. They've come out with this Arabian version, which I think is called the Night or Royal Night or something like that. It has some Arabic on the front of the bottle. Good fragrance. The notes in there are just too similar to the original and too similar to the EDP, which I think if you're going to buy Dolce & Gabbana The One, just buy the EDP. That's all you need. All the other variations, well, I say variations, the original and this new Arabian version, they're good. I just think the EDP is all you need, really. Okay, so that was Friday night. So going on to Saturday, so yesterday, I wore a couple of fragrances. My fragrance that I wore during the day is a new release from Ralph Lauren. And this one is Polo Blue, but the Eau de Parfum. So this is the sample. I've got two of these samples. And it's a new release in the UK. I think it got released a couple of days ago, and I like this. I'm actually surprised. I'll mention why I'm surprised, but I like it from top to bottom. The reason I say I'm surprised is because Ralph Lauren, as in terms of fragrances, is not a house that really impresses me. I like to try everything, and I don't like to ignore things but I just find them I don't find them very well made. I find them quite harsh, some of them. Not all of them, some of them are good. But the reason I kind of like, I wanted to get, I asked for a sample and I got given two, was because the original, the EDT, was the fragrance that I wore all throughout university, so from the ages of 18 to 21. And I went through a couple of bottles, but I never went back to that fragrance. I never like sampled it again, or never bought it again. So when I sprayed this on, I kind of had a smile on my face, because it really did bring back memories of my university days, which makes me think actually that maybe this is not that different from the original. I liked it though. It was fresh. It had that generic freshness, that aquatic citrus freshness that you find in a lot of mainstream fragrances. But I liked it because it didn't smell harsh. It didn't smell like alcohol. It didn't smell cheap. It smelled actually like the ingredients were a step up from the original. Problem with this one is that it's an EDP, but I don't think the performance was that great. Yeah, I need to test it a little bit more, and once I get to the end of these samples, I will review them. Oh, it was a good fragrance though. I think definitely one that would be better to buy a little bit later down the line as it hits the discounters, because it doesn't smell expensive, but the price, it's not cheap. Okay, so going on to Saturday night fragrance, and I decided to, I was going through some of my decants, and sometimes you have so many that you forget about them. And I actually went and found this fragrance from Tom Ford's private blend, and this one is Champaca Absolute. So you can probably just about make it out there. Champaca Absolute. I don't hear about this fragrance at all. I'm part of Facebook groups. Nobody really posts anything about this fragrance. Well, I have seen a few, but not very often. Hardly anything mentioned on YouTube. I don't even think... There probably is one review of this. I don't remember seeing a review, to be honest, but there probably... actually, I think Steven did a review a long time ago, Redolessence. I might have to double check, but I think I have a memory of him reviewing this. But anyway, Tom Ford's Champaca Absolute is basically like this rich white floral, which is slightly spicy, maybe some saffron, maybe a kind of mushroomy type vibe. I've literally worn this fragrance a couple of times, so I'm not 100% sure with the notes, but that's what I got. It did remind me of like a big bouquet of flowers which are filling the room and are quite sort of exotic, or maybe quite heady, quite floral, but mixed in with some sweetness, and mixed in with this spiciness, and mixed in with this mushroomy type vibe, something earthy in there, but something also quite sweet. So it's not over the top in terms of floral, in this white floral accord. I really liked it. I thought this was really interesting. I need to go back to it, wear it a little bit more, and yeah, there we go. As far as today, Sunday, I'm not wearing anything. Don't have any fragrance on at the moment. I'm tempted actually to go out and try a few fragrances. So I went out on Friday night. I wasn't doing anything on Friday night, so I thought, let me just go out, try some fragrances. I haven't been in a store in a long time, so I think I might do that now. Actually, I might go out and try some new stuff. Maybe try and get some samples. Yeah. So guys, those were my scents of the week. Over to you. What have you been wearing this week? Maybe just mention some of the highlights, or have you been wearing your full bottles or samples? Which fragrances in particular? Has anything stood out for you? Have you discovered anything new, or have you just been wearing like the older classics? Whatever you've been wearing, whatever's on your mind, let me know. And thanks for watching. Take care. See you soon. Bye.